how to become the #1 best-selling author in your market, in your industry, and in your niche, and without any additional work from you, and even if you do not have a large list. My goal for you is to make you the #1 best-selling author in your market. And I got a deal for you. If you watch this entire video, this entire presentation until the end, I have a special gift for you worth at least and over $497. Is it a deal? All right, great. So, hi, my name is Brian Daly, and I'm going to take a moment to share with you a little bit about me so you can get related to me, and I'm not just some voice or some person behind a video. I've been a small business owner. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 6 years, and I've been a best-selling author, and I've done a lot of things right, and I've done a lot of things wrong. And there's some big golden nuggets that I want to share with you in this video. So, I invite you right now to grab a piece of paper and pen, because I really want to make sure you get some extraordinary value from your time invested in this video. So grab a piece of paper and pen. I'll share with you some big ideas. You can see on the picture there is my beautiful wife, Francielle, Nelisa, and the little one is Genesis. And if you can see in the picture, I have a little girl on the way as well. So I'm outnumbered 4-1. And I guess one of the things that's unique about my story and why I published the book that became the #1 bestseller is, I wrestled 4 times at the NCAA National Championships. And what happened for me is I kept getting to that highest level, either a state tournament or the NCAA National Tournament, and I would fall short. During the season, I would beat All-Americans, I would beat some national champs even, and when it came down to it, something just seemed to happen, and those moments and minutes that separated the ones who medal and the ones who go home, and so we've packaged that experience of kind of just working on the physical sport, right? The physical, the takedowns or the pins, and we have more of a holistic. We have a lot of conversations around the mind and the subconscious and spiritual training, and so really excited where that business is going. And as I said, I am a father to 3 girls now, and 4 which will be my beautiful wife. And I currently live in Chicago, and me and my wife are really in a conversation to see what's next for our family, and considering moving out west to the San Diego area, and really excited about that possibility. Like I mentioned, it became the #1 bestseller of the Inner Gamer Wrestling, and now I'm serving clients getting their book to the #1 bestseller as well. So, these next few slides I share with you just for the purpose that, after selling, I sold cars right out of college. I sold cars and I made a lot of money and had no time on my hands. And I started traveling the country, getting around some thought leaders and some inspirational people who have done what it is that I want to accomplish. And that's really a big takeaway is listening to those who have done what I'm looking to accomplish. And so I share with these, some of these names you may recognize depending on what industry you're in, maybe not, and so I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone on this page has been probably a bestseller, a New York Times bestseller. So, I just, whoever you listen to, whoever you work with to promote your book, really just make sure that they have the results, right? It's not just an opinion. They have experience and results, right? And so I share with you also this because I've done a lot of things right over these years, and I've done a lot more things wrong. And inside of doing these, I've kind of created some different strategies, and one of the other things that I'm really excited to share with you is about the sequencing and the strategy. So that's coming up. And and one of the things that has really served me, and this is one of the things you're going to want to write down, is that I found that the most expensive information is the wrong information. operating on the wrong information for a few months, let alone a few years, is incredibly expensive. So if you're taking notes, write this down, that the most expensive information is the wrong information. And I want you to know, take a breath, I have the right information, right? So let me share with you a little bit about the hard way, right? And when we first started promoting books, this was kind of the process. And when I was following someone's plan to become a number one bestseller, it didn't work. And this is kind of a little bit about, this is a couple points on the hard way. And that's kind of what it looks like to do it the hard way. So you buy a bunch of boxes of books, or you raise money to get boxes of books, and then you kind of figure out, okay, I wrote this book, now how do I do a book launch? How do I launch this thing? And it was kind of frustrating, because it's like, there's value in both of these ways, right? Processing orders on your website and then processing orders on Amazon. And it's frustrating to figure out, okay, well, where do I send someone, right? And with Amazon, the big deal is that you get the ranking. The issue is you don't get contact information. Business is just a list of customers, and on Amazon you get a sale, which the margins aren't great, and you don't have any customers' information. So it's just there are some strategies to get around that, and after becoming the number one bestseller, don't process any more orders through Amazon, okay? And the other approach to becoming the number one bestseller is asking people to buy your book on a certain day, certain time, including a bunch of bonuses. And the thing I found out about that is that people are busy, and people are ready to engage with you and purchase your book or your product or your course or your coaching or your consulting or your becoming a client of you when they're ready, not when you're ready. People are busy, and they're going to buy your book when they're ready to purchase your book, not when you're ready to sell it to them. Okay? And this last one is that if you do sell on your own website, now you have that conversation of, okay, who fulfills for me, and do I do it myself and write a nice note to these new buyers, and do I make those exhausting trips to the post office, or do I partner with someone that can fulfill for me? And inside of that kind of that hard way, I want to share with you one thing is that turning your book that you've already written into a number one bestseller might just be the most important business decision that you ever make. So, shut down your phone and close your email, and, I just invite you into this conversation, and it's an important one for your business. Like I said, I've done it the hard way, and I'm gonna share with you the easy way, okay? And there's the 3 secrets to the easy way. Again, my goal is to make you the number one bestseller in your market. So, listen up. And if it's about you being the number one bestseller, this is really more about you than it is about me, right? So here's the 3 secrets. The first secret is you do not need to buy a box of books, mailing envelopes, and make exhausting trips to the post office. The first time we raised some money and we bought a bunch of books, and the second time we did it, we didn't buy, I bought one, and that was just for me, and then, someone bought that one, but we didn't buy a bunch of books. And so you don't need to have a bunch of inventory. You don't have to have a printer print you a bunch of books and store them from you in order to be that number one best-selling author. So, secret number 2, thinking that making money from your book, it's definitely the wrong mindset, the wrong perspective, okay? And one of the things you'll find out that's different about how we do this than others is first off, we market the real book, not a digital version of the book, physical copies of the book. There's people that will just do the Kindle version, and it's okay, and I don't know, I'm not a Kindle guy, so I appreciate real books, and but to each his own, right? But here's the thing: making money from your book is not your front end, okay? The secret to this is your back end. And one of the things that we do differently is we build out a sales funnel, okay? And that's a lot different than an actual website. And I don't have the time to go into that right now. But one of the things that's different about our process is that we use the sales funnel to maximize your return on your investment. You know, that your return on the ad spend that you might be spending already, right? Secret number 3, ready? To become the #1 best-selling author, you do not need a book launch, nor do you need to ask people to buy your book on a specific day and a specific time, okay? Let's go back to secret number 1. You do not need to buy a box of books, mailing envelopes, and make exhausting trips to the post office. Like I said, the first time we did this, I raised some money, we bought a bunch of boxes of books, and then we realized, well, the goal is to become a #1 best-selling author, so I need to figure out how we're going to get those orders onto Amazon. And then I had this boxes of books that we already bought, and then the second part was when I came out the second edition, then I had some of the first editions, and I didn't want to give people the first edition because it was like the second edition had that much better content, and it was going to serve them that much more. So if you've already done this, you have the books. If not, then you don't need to buy a bunch of boxes of books initially to make this work. Okay. Secret number 2: making money from your book is the wrong mindset. Again, think back end. Okay, so your back end of your business, whether that be a course, whether that be your client, getting a new client, whether that be whatever your business back end is right. Your book is designed. It should be designed and laid out in such a way that it drives sales through your core business and into your back end, right? And I guess the best way to describe this, depending on where you're at in your business, is iTunes, right? iTunes or Apple. Apple has iTunes. They have the iPod. They have the iPhone, they have the iPod, they have the Mac Mini, they have the Mac, the MacBook Pro, they have, and they don't really, wherever you come into that ascension, right, you can start just by using the software of iTunes. You can ascend into being an iPod owner, or maybe, I guess it was kind of how, and then eventually, or you start with an iPhone, or you start with a Mac, but they're getting you into their world, right? And so your back end is so much more profitable than this front end, your book sale, right? So your book is designed to convert a browser to a buyer, and so now you have a buyer's list, not just a list of leads, right? And inside of getting that list of buyers, you're definitely going to have a lot of leads too. So the book is we call it a tripwire. We use the book as a tripwire, as a piece to offer someone to engage with us and move to the next, and so that's the value of using a funnel here. It's not about that we use a certain specific strategy and then getting people to ascend throughout into your higher end products, programs, and services. So I really just want you to think back end here, okay? Number 3 is to become the #1 best-selling author is you do not need a book launch, nor do you need to ask people to buy your book on a specific day and time. I remember sending out texts, hey, did you buy, or did you, I got these special bonuses, and even, at the time I didn't have a huge list, so, or asking, celebrities celebrities to post on their Facebook, and really trying to cause this thing into a #1 bestseller. That is the hard way, okay? That is not, there is a better way, good news, and we have it, and it'll work for you. And so we don't need to do that. And I'll just move on because it brings back old memories. So maybe you're asking, what makes this different, right? What makes what I'm sharing different? And that's a great question. And this is definitely a writer downer, okay? Is what makes this difference is the sequence and the strategy, okay? The sequencing of it and the strategy. Doing things step by step in the right order, okay? If we were going to bake a cake, I'm not a baker, but if we were going to bake a cake, there's a certain process to putting those ingredients together. We don't just like put everything into the bowl, mix it up, and then put it in the oven. The cake won't turn out, right? So sequencing is doing the right things in the right order, right steps, and 9 out of 10 times I find that it's just a matter of sequencing and strategy, right? And you're probably doing everything right, just in the wrong sequence. So this is a game changer. So just write sequencing and strategies. Really, there's like 3 core strategies that we used for an entire business model. And it really serves and supports and just they work together, and that's really the exciting part about it, right? All right, so I'm going to share with you, I shared with you already a little bit about this hard way, right? The first time we did this, and then the second way we did it was when we came out with the second edition, and then inside of doing it this way, I wasn't even trying to become a #1 bestseller, and it happened, and inside of doing that, I kind of discovered a little secret. So, and then the #1 ranking results. Okay, so this is the first time we did it the hard way. You can see that I think we got as high as, I say 4th because when you look at the slide, there's like the same book and audio, and there's the Foxcatcher, the movie. I'm sure maybe you've seen it. The audio version of the book and the book is the kind of in the same spot. So however you want to look at it, we didn't get to #1, right? So part of it's timing as well, but at the same time, we were following a proven process, and it didn't work. So we were doing it the hard way, asking people to buy the book on a certain day, a certain time, and that's frustrating. When we came out with the second edition, we did it a little bit differently, right? We didn't buy a box of books. We were processing all our orders through a funnel. We were maximizing our return by using this funnel. And then inside of doing this, like I said, we discovered the secret of then processing those orders through Amazon. Okay, and which resulted in becoming the #1 best-selling author. And here's a screenshot of a couple days of orders just coming in, bang, bing, 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 and like I said, we took a screenshot of becoming the #1 bestseller, and now we're doing this for others, and it's a lot of fun too. So, I did say at the beginning of this presentation or this video that I'm going to give you a gift, and here it is, right? So I'm going to give you all these business contracts. These are the contracts that I use. There are contracts that I'm including here is the joint venture agreements that I use, a joint venture licensing agreement, a joint venture co-development agreement, a license agreement, a confidentiality agreement, a marketing agreement, a partnership agreement, buy-sell shareholder agreement, a distributor agreement, a joint venture agreement. There's a lot. Marketing and distribution agreement, and royalty agreements, consulting agreements, hourly consulting agreements, monthly retainer copywriting and consulting agreements, copywriting agreements, copywriting and revenue sharing agreements, license and royalty agreements, list usage agreements, that's a good one, loan and investment agreements. So you can go over and download these exact contracts at 3daymbabook.com/contracts. So it's 3daymbabook.com/contracts. And